Hello, my name is Jack Elder, Senior Director for Advanced Planning for Comprehensive Brokerage Services. Today, we're going to talk about premium finance rescue. A lot of premium financing designs over the last, 15 years or so. Now we've got rising interest rates and caps have been going down for a decade. What does this mean for premium finance and are there alternatives, plans that may not work out as originally designed? That's what we're going to talk about today. So let's start with how IUL, because this is largely in the IUL world that I'm talking about, is credited. So IUL is credited based on a percentage change in the value of an underlying index. That index could be, it's always an external index, could be the S&P 500, could be a volatility controlled index that's created by the life insurance company, could be Euro stocks, could be Hang Seng, whatever it is, it's an external index. Fortunately for IUL, and a big selling feature, it's got a floor, so you're not going to lose your contributions based on market performance. And then it's imposed on top of that are some non-guaranteed elements, and that's the participation rate, could be 100%, 150, 200, any non-guaranteed bonuses, and then cap. And today I'm going to focus on the cap, because over the last 10 years, the cap, for the most part, has been going down. And so I want to first illustrate the impact. So here's the blue line. Let's call that the external index. That's the market returns. And we're assuming in this example, a 1 year, 100% participation rate, 1 year point to point cap. If the cap's 14%, the blue line, the external index, is going to return 9.49%, right? You've got 2 years, 2015, 2018, where the market was negative. Zero was your hero those years. Same with 2022. In the other years, your interest crediting is capped at 14%. Well, if with the exact same market conditions at 12%, your average rate of return is a little less than 8.5%. At 10%, now you're capping out every year. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, almost not quite. No cigar right there in your 2016, 5, 6, 7. You've capped out 7 years, but you capped out at 10%, giving you a 7.23% market average return. You reduce the caps to 8. It's 5.8 return, right? Because you're losing that upside. If the caps are at 6%, you've got a 4.36 average return, even though the market over that same period was pretty much gangbusters. So caps have been going down. So that I just showed you the impact of caps. Well, here's where I just picked a carrier, and I picked one of the most common premium financing carriers. Caps started out 10 years ago or 11 years ago at 13. They are now at 7. So what does that mean? It means that all the returns available through that, that crediting available, it's kind of subject to a speed limit that's been reducing over time, right? Since the caps have gone down, when you're capping out, it's just less is crediting to the policy. This has created a challenge, what I call an illustration gap. When this policy was originally purchased, it was, it had it illustrated a higher rate of return that it will, at least through the first 10 years, return, because the caps have gone down. Now, the red line here is the cost of capital over the last 10 years. So banks take an external index and then apply a spread. Could be, well, up until 2022, beginning of 2022, it was LIBOR, could be treasuries. Today, it's the SOFR rate. They take a rate, an external rate, and then they apply a spread, and that's the cost of capital, right? If you want a premium finance, well, that's what this red line represents. So even though we've had caps going down over time, look at interest rates. They've been really low. So what does that mean? It means that on average, over the last 10 years with this particular carrier and this particular index, you've had an average of 5.79% positive arbitrage annually for the last 10 years. Right. So think of that as tailwinds, right? Well, what happened at the beginning of 2022? Right. The rates went up. So what I want to focus on is not the past 10 years. but the next 10 years, where we have falling caps and potentially rising interest rates to create negative arbitrage, the potential for negative arbitrage. So let's look into the crystal ball. And the reason why we want to do this is because I want to emphasize the importance of getting an expert premium financing review. So in my crystal ball, for this purpose, I'm going to look at policy performance, and I'm going to use realistic interest rate forecast. For policy performance, for now, for this exercise, I'm going to assume we have gangbuster returns for the next 10 years, because I want to show you how important it is that the caps are really more important than gangbuster returns. And then I'll say, we'll take that same carrier who's capped out now at 7%, and we'll just increase those caps beginning this year, 5% per year. And then we'll take a realistic interest rate forecast, which we're going to use the secured overnight financing rate, which is the SOFR rate. Think SOFR is available to banks. It's the cost of borrowing overnight collateralized by Treasury securities. That's where the rate comes from. There's millions of transactions, thousands of transactions daily on the SOFR. So here's the policy performance. We'll do that first. This is what I took here because I want to be gangbusters. I took the best 10-year run out of the last 25 years from the S&P, and I included dividends, which typically is not a part of IUL crediting. So it gives us average returns of 13.49%. So that's what the next 10 years look like when I look in my crystal ball. It looks great, right? And then I'm going to assume the caps recover at 5% per year. That's mostly good news too, right? Caps are heading in the right direction. And then if you apply those returns against that cap rate, this is the shape of the IUL crediting. It'd be capping out here, in 23, 24, 25, 27, you'd cap out 6 or 7 times, right? And that's great. Well, let's talk about a realistic interest rate forecast, right? So premium finance rates are determined by using an index plus a spread. I mentioned that earlier. For years, the most common index was the LIBOR, and that went away in early 2020. LIBOR was replaced by the SOFR rate. And now the SOFR rate, what's interesting about it, if we've got this forward curve, it is, think of this red line here as the betting market, right? There's every day thousands of trades on the SOFR, SOFR futures, SOFR swaps. So this is a real live market, subject to market conditions. Okay. So, and it's the best thing we have to predict future rates for premium financing. So let's use it. So that's what it looks like. You zoom it out, right? Start in 2022, run it out to 2032. Next 10 years, this is what the SOFR curve looks like. That's the shape of our IUL returns. Let's put them together. And you can see, we've got plenty of years where there's positive arbitrage. We've got some negative years. Recall the last 10 years with this product, we had an average of 5.79% positive arbitrage. If I just take extremely rosy outlook on returns, steadily increasing caps, and the SOFR forward curve as my rates, the SOFR forward curve plus a spread for the banks, I use 1.65% for the banks. That's what their take is going to be. That gives us 0.83% average positive arbitrage. Does that mean premium financing, all the premium financing is going to fail? No, but it means that the room for error is much narrower. And it also means that clients who need to be prepared to delay the rollout from the premium financing, they need to be prepared for unanticipated collateral calls when you have negative arbitrage and the potential for increased out-of-pockets. So they need to explore the alternatives. And that's where we come in. We have developed a tool for analyzing and rescuing premium finance. It uses realistic interest rates and crediting projections with the carrier. You just saw a quick snapshot of at least how we think of it. It's in the tool is extremely comprehensive in that it compares paying off a loan now, paying off a loan later, not what I call freezing the loan, paying interest only, paying off the loan with outside funds, with a loan from the policy, with a withdrawal from the policy, and a variety of crediting rates. It's very comprehensive so that the client can see in front of them their side-by-side options. Do you want to contribute to the plan? Are you going to be paying interest? Are you going to pay premiums? Or are you done making contributions to the plan and you don't want out of pocket? We compare and lay side by side all of these options in an easy to understand format so that the client can make a choice about what's right for them. In my next video, I'm going to go over a recent case example and use that as my reason and excuse to go through what is a virtual tour of our deliverable, Premium Financing Rescue, and our approach. It's client facing. You can use it with your clients. So be on the lookout for my next video where I'm going to go through an actual case example. If you don't want to wait for that, that's okay. Please reach out to me. Best place to reach me is my cell phone right there. Please reach out. I'd be happy to talk about how we provide premium finance reviews. In the meantime, thank you very much. Look forward to doing business with you.